I'm Carla Reeves, and this is Differently. Whether you feel stuck in survival, navigating a change, or seeking more for your life, may this podcast be your weekly nudge to take a risk to build a life that is uniquely bold, authentic, and in alignment with your deepest values. What if you worried less about the bumps in the road and instead got equipped for the journey? Get ready to rethink what's possible. Hey everyone, welcome back to Differently. I'm so excited to have Beth Sandlin back with me today, and you can go back and listen. Beth's been on at least a couple times. I think it's Move Differently, which is like episode 158, Revitalize Your Routine, and then the self-care strategy that sparks lasting growth. So she's not new to the podcast, and we're excited to share really just talk about, I think, a season that we both have been navigating of uncertainty and pivots and moving through growth and the discomfort of all of that. And we were inspired to come together and talk about that and share an exciting event for you in a little bit. So welcome, Beth.
Thanks so much, Carla. So happy to be back here again.
Yes, I'm excited to be doing this together and collaborating on something. So let's start with Beth. I know writing and movement have had such a big impact in your life. And I think the last time we connected, you started to tell me a story and I'm like, oh, you have to share that on the podcast. So share how those two things have collided for you and made a difference.
Yeah, it's interesting because my practice with both exercise, or if you want to just swap out the word movement for that, journaling, or you can swap out writing, has definitely been a theme consistently throughout my life. And as we talked more, I've really acknowledged how valuable it is beyond kind of the obvious, which is exercise is good for physical health. And sometimes writing, we write to-do lists, right? And that keeps us on track. But there's other elements. Everything from when I had cancer and I was journaling about that in my hospital bed to I was at the age of 37 and on my treadmill. And I just said the statement, I'm doing something differently in coming up in this next year. And that was my big first pivot away from what I was doing at the time, working full time, transitioning into the online space, teaching Pilates. And as we were talking, I think I shared a practice that I'm currently doing, which is combining the two of having an evening practice with Pilates, usually very short, either stretch-based or really gentle movement. And I pair that with journaling. Sometimes I do the journaling after, other times before. That's where I'm not too rigid with the structure. It's what I feel would be most beneficial. And it's been absolutely incredible because one time we had a conversation and I think I claimed, I'm just so inconsistent with journaling. It comes up and then I kind of leave it to the wayside. And I think what I've acknowledged is for me, having that inconsistency or doing it just in different ways is incredibly helpful for what is my passion and motivation. It helped me come up with the name Trifecta Pilates. Like I wrote about that a lot before coming up with Trifecta as the inspiration. And so this event that we're focusing on, I'm just super excited about it because it's bringing our own passion. And I know that you also not only have an expertise in journaling and facilitating that, but you have a really strong movement practice as well.
I do. And I think, in these times, I feel like so many people are navigating uncertainty and maybe some fear and some doubt or making it feeling like their business is going to change and they need to make a pivot. And I feel like so often when we're in these periods of times, we can really get, at least I know myself and my clients, we can get up in our head and just start kind of spin in your head, which can create a lot of extra unease and discomfort that we actually have control over. And I think for me, that the act of writing has been so powerful in my life to help me actually get out of my head. And then the practice of movement, sometimes even, I need to move my body to get out of my head, like to literally bring the energy into my whole body instead of just up here. And I think that in these times of uncertainty, or we're making a pivot, or we're trying to make a decision, or we need to make that big, bold move, but we're feeling all the feelings, right? sometimes there's a waiting period, and we can feel powerless in the waiting, like especially for doers and high achievers, it's hard to wait. And I think that how we wait really matters. And when we can be intentional in the waiting, it makes a huge difference. And I think that movement and writing are two things that we can do, on their own, but also combined together in the waiting that can actually help us, feel like we're making progress or receiving clarity or sometimes just making peace with what is, right? So yes, I think that this is so powerful to combine these two. I feel like just tools that we both have used in our lives for a long time and bring those to like really let people experience them, right? We were talking about learning about journaling, learning about Pilates or whatever kind of movement, but actually doing it. And that's what we're going to invite you all to do with us. Um, Beth, is there anything else that you want to add around the connection between like movement and moving through times of growth or change?
Yeah, I think that sometimes with journaling or just even in our head, it feels like we get stuck when it comes to, creativity, change, or even being productive, working in alignment, that getting away is incredibly helpful. And many times we think of getting away as a big vacation for a reset, and that is just not practical on a weekly basis for most of us, nor definitely on a daily basis. And that's where movement has really been helpful to get away, clearing the mind. Lots of times people will say, in the shower, I had this idea. That's beautiful. But I can't be in a shower all day long. And what I've noticed is when I'm moving my body, whether it's getting outside for a short walk or stepping on my Pilates mat and really focusing on the movement of my body, that even though I'm not thinking about what I just did with work or what I'm trying to work through, that many times afterwards, my nervous system has a chance to reset. And then there's that moment of inspiration or clarity, which for me, many times I have to go write it down. Otherwise, I will forget exactly what I was so clear on. And I believe that's really the power of the two together. And sometimes it makes sense to focus a little bit more on one than the other. And I think it also makes sense, when is it about a pause? When is it about, rather than continuing to journal about it, what actions can be helpful to move forward? And movement innately is action based. We are putting, walking or moving through the body. And I think that is a valuable asset that we don't consider for movement. And is one of the reasons why that research is now starting to show that exercise is good for mental health, just like journaling is. It's a different tool, it's a different resource that can be used. It actually improves focus and concentration. And that's what's so exciting about where we are right now, is we can lean on tools and resources for many reasons.
I love that. I think I mentioned to you that I have been going to a new Pilates studio and doing a different kind of Pilates, and it's been so good because when I go into that room, I don't think about anything else because I'm learning to move my body in new ways, and I'm learning new teachers and new cues, and I find that I don't think about anything else but listening to the instructor and kind of following the lead. And it's actually rest for my brain. And then I think our bodies work things out when we let our brain rest. And it's so counterintuitive to someone who is used to doing a lot of thinking or in their head a lot. But Beth and I are going to invite you to come do this with us, like experience it for yourself. And I think, Beth, one of the other things we talked about before we give them the details, is that like leadership begins right here with us. And I think whether you're leading your business or a family or, whatever it is in your life that you're leading, often we are so focused on showing up for everybody else, but we have to remember that it starts right here. And if we're not grounded and centered, it's really hard to lead others. And so this is a gift that you give yourself, and we're going to invite you to come play with us. Do you want to share the details?
Sure. So it is both a movement practice and journaling practice. We're combining, I feel, the best of both worlds. So I'll be leading the movement practice. Carla will be leading the journaling reflection, and we'll begin with an intention setting as well. We have decided to call this Brave Bodies, Bold Minds, and are just so excited that we can lean into this experience together in connection, collaboration with each other, and also with you who will be attending.
Amazing. So this is a virtual event. So you don't have to be anywhere at a specific physical location. We will put all the registration in the show notes. This is happening on Saturday, June 21st at 12 p.m. Eastern. You'll bring a notebook and kind of have a space where you can move your body. But are there any other things they need to bring?
If they have a cushion mat, amazing. If not, just something they're comfortable with, even your carpet's fine, or roll out a blanket. So I'll be teaching a movement session that doesn't require any additional equipment, just comfortable clothing.
Perfect. And it's free. So we invite you to come hang out with us, experience these tools. I feel like we all need tools right now. And so we want to share our favorite tools with you. And again, we'll put all the link in the show notes. But if you're navigating something, bring your life, bring a challenge, bring something you're navigating to the session. And we expect that you're going to have some sort of breakthrough in just moving through these tools with us. So we're excited and honored to be hosting this. And again, save your spot, and the link is in the show notes. Thank you, Beth, for joining together to do this and for being here today. And a link to Beth's website and everything else will be there as well.
And thanks so much, Carla. Yes, thanks so much, Carla. I'm just so excited for this. And we have been working on this for quite some time, and just getting towards this final stage of actually putting everything that we have been talking about, and yes, writing about. And I've been thinking about this after my Pilates practice and before, and walking, like having this come to fruition is absolutely incredible, and would be so honored for anyone who's listening to join in.
Yes. So see you on Saturday, June 21st. Have an amazing day. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Differently. It's been an honor to share this conversation with you. One of the keys to living fully is to take action when you're inspired to do so. I hope you found that spark of inspiration today. And would you help us spread the word? Did someone you know come to mind while you were listening? If this episode could impact someone you know, please share it and pass it along. New episodes drop weekly, so tap that subscribe button and join us next time as we continue to challenge the status quo and get equipped to live life differently.